All right, we're live. This is episode 4. I need to think of a name. Got to think of a name to make it easier. But what we do is we look at it's dating content, dating advice, dating tips, politics, reaction to dating content on Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, Reddit. And what we do is we start off with dating app profiles. We go through it, from top to bottom. I'll explain it and then we'll go through each section and dissect it and give you advice. Should you date this girl? Short-term relationship, long-term relationships, marriage. Kind of look at the pros and cons, right? The green flags, the red flags, what you want to look out for. Because oftentimes you may look at something and see, all right, maybe this is a good idea and then it's a mistake. Or maybe this is a bad idea, but it's actually something good. And so that's why we use the dating apps, because it's the same thing in person. You're going to learn all this at some point, whether it's the first date, second date, or third date. So the information is the same. And so how you handle it is going to be the exact same, whether it's online dating or in-person dating. We're going to look at Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge. And we'll do this for the first hour. And then the second hour, it's going to be reacting to the dating content. And the third hour is the political hour. All right, so we'll start this off. So she's 23 years old. And right off the top, you can tell no tattoos, not overweight, which is really good. She loves traveling, loves dancing, loves sushi, outdoorsy, Christian values, and she loves Jesus. Perfect. And it's good, she's only 23, no kids, wants kids, Christian, conservative, so those are really good. She's open to seeing where things go. At the Statue of Liberty right there. Okay. She's down for, so her most chaotic trait is she's down for anything. All right. Let's go through this. All right. So again, not overweight, no tattoos. That's good. "23 years old, so that's good. But that's the problem right there. She tells you straight up, the most important thing to her is traveling. It's undefeated. And she loves dancing. All right. So let's look at the good things, right? So the good things are, 23, active, Christian, conservative, wants kids, doesn't have kids. So that's 6 right there. Actually, no, I'll add another one. So no tattoos, not overweight. So just off of that right there, all the positives, we'll give her, that's an 8. 8 out of 10 for a relationship. But so this is also important too, because she's young right now, but her lifestyle may prevent her from actually achieving her goals, right? Which is to have kids, to settle down, family creation. So hopefully she gives up her lifestyle of traveling, hiking, being adventurous, being spontaneous. Otherwise, she might end up being 30, 35, still single, still wanting kids, doesn't have kids because her lifestyle has prevented that. That's why I always want to be aware of girls that love to travel, are adventurous, spontaneous. They sound fun, but if you want a serious long term relationship, marriage, to settle down, keyword settle down, have kids, you have to give up the traveling, the adventuring, and being spontaneous. All right. And she even knows her most chaotic trait right there, down for anything adventurous because it is chaotic to be adventurous, spontaneous, traveling, experiences. It's chaotic, not stable. But still overall good. Not overweight, not a single mom, no tattoos. So 8 out of 10 for her. All right, this next chick, so 28, looking for someone long term. I'm a mama to my 5-year-old daughter. Okay. Dating to marry, not just dating for fun. You wonder, was she dating to marry before she had the kid? you know, was she dating to marry before she had the kid? Perks of dating her, being cooked for every day. That's good. You would expect her to know how to cook because she has to cook for herself and her kids. So that should just be standard. All right. So even though those are good things, I'll explain why you never date a single mom, right? You never date a single mom for 2 main reasons. The first reason is she's in her masculine energy. She's had to protect and provide for herself and her kids. So it's putting her in a masculine frame, masculine energy. What that means is she's not going to always be submissive, feminine, agreeable. She's going to argue. She's set in her ways because she's had to take care of herself and her kids. That's the main reason why you never want to date a single mom. The second reason is she's going to put her kids first, okay, as she should. She's going to put her kids first, maybe her job, her interests. So you're lucky to be 4th or 5th in her life. So just remember that when it comes to dating a single mom. Now, if you're a single dad, you got kids of your own, completely different. Okay, completely different. I'm speaking on as if you're a single guy, younger than her, wants kids, doesn't have kids, then you have no business dating a single mom. It's a waste of your time. So for that, yeah, she'd be like a 2 out of 10. And the tattoos too. I don't know why single moms always got to have tattoos. Always. Let's go to the next one right here. So I'm just going to guess right here. So she's got the single mom build, single mom archetype, single mom central casting because she's a RN. She's a nurse, tattoos. Let's see. Mom of 2. The stereotype exists. Nurse, single mom, tattoos. Like, why? So yeah, so 30 years old, and you're still trying to figure it out at 30? Come on. Come on. Not too much there, but again, you don't date a single mom because she's going to be masculine. You want 2 masculine people in the relationship? No, you don't. And for her to still be figuring it out at 30 with kids is crazy. Crazy. I mean, you got to tell me, like, why would you want to do that? All right, 30 years old. Is this the same chick? Yeah, this is the same chick. Yeah, she's a nurse, mama 2, 30. Same thing, right? All right, next one. So 28 years old, still figuring it out. She's a free spirit who just wants to settle down, and she's not down for the one night stands or anything unserious. I'm also a mom of two. So I don't always have all the time in the world. So this is exactly what I explained why you don't date a single mom, because she doesn't have time. She's raising kids. She's caring for them. She's working a job. She has her own interests. She's not going to have time for you. That's why you don't date a single mom right there. What's crazy is she's not down for the one night stands. And you got to be thinking like, was she thinking like that before? Or does she just want like a little pet? Someone that's just, a pet for her.
What a good boy.
Oof. You never want a girl that smokes weed. Nope. And anytime she's like, oh, the hottest thing you can do is make me laugh, you're not her personal comedian. You're not her personal entertainer. Because you don't want to be that.
What a good boy.
All right, 33 years old, little country girl here. She wants someone long term. Single mom. So she's 33, single mom, looking for a long-term relationship. Again, if you don't have kids, you're just wasting your time trying to date a single mom. That's just how it is. Unless you can explain to me the benefits. If you're a single guy with no kids, explain to me why. Explain to me why you would date a single mom. Why would you? Well, actually, no. So, would you date a single dad with kids? Why? Hey, you want to have your own family. You can't be out there raising someone else's. Come on now. All right, so she's 35 years old. Interesting picture. How are you going to be on a dating app looking to date? And this is your picture right here. You're in a picture with 4 other guys. All right. 35. She's fun and outgoing, curvy stoner babe. If it isn't obvious, laugh out loud, looking for someone to have smoke sessions with. Yeah, that's code word for
What a good boy.
For what? You think it's code for what? That's not a code for a drug addict. That's code for just casual sex. If she's looking for someone to have smoke sessions with, that's just a hookup. Yeah, that's what that means. Because a smoke session is you're just going over to her house or she's coming to your house and you two are just going to smoke and get high. And what do you think is going to happen? You two aren't going to play chess. Are you going to play chess? Yeah, you're going to play chess? No. I don't know. I couldn't do it. All right, 33 years old. Let's see. Long-term relationship. No hookups. Okay, good. But what? Mama of 2. You think she had that mindset beforehand? Like I always wish I could just know. The girls that are always like, "Oh, no hookups," but I already have 2 or 3 kids. Like how did that happen? All right, so 33, single mom, 2 kids, and she's using pronouns as a 33-year-old. Come on. People would describe her as spontaneous. You don't want that. Perks of dating her, you will always stay fed. Again, if you're a single mom, you should be cooking. Like that should be guaranteed. Like, oh, I cook the best home cooked meals. You'll always stay fed. You're always going to be fed. That's a good thing.
What a good boy.
But yeah, the single mom thing. And unless someone can really explain to me, yeah, I want to have a long-term relationship with a single mom. Otherwise, you never date a single mom because she's had to protect and provide for her kids. So she's in her masculine energy. She's going to be disagreeable. She's going to argue with you, not be submissive, not be feminine, because she's had to provide for her kids and herself. And she's going to always put her kids first, herself second, maybe you third or fourth. Who knows? You never want to be in that situation. 30 years old. Let's see. You better message her first because she's got way too many matches. So that is who I will chat with. And that is actually how it should be. If you're on a dating app, even Instagram, but if you're on a dating app, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, you should message first. But don't be desperate. Don't send more than 2 messages. Send a message, doesn't respond, give it a couple of days, send a second one. If you don't hear back, you just move on. But yeah, you should always message first, definitely, because if you don't realize this as a guy, a girl on a dating app is getting thousands of likes a week. Thousands. You're lucky if you're getting a handful, 10, 20, 30, you're lucky. So she's going through thousands. How are you going to stand out? I mean, that's the truth. How are you going to stand out? Because if you're not physically attracted to her and she's going through thousands of likes, thousands of profiles, you got to be the one that stands out. You stand out by not being overweight, actually taking care of yourself, like your teeth, your smile. Your physical is always going to stand out first. I know a lot of people want to be like, oh no, like personality. Your personality comes second. Initial attraction is the physical. Okay, she's got to be physically attracted to you. That's why you cannot be overweight. Have some type of muscular development. Right? So if you can attract her physically, then you keep her with your communication, your personality. Be able to talk about things, be a man of interest, because again, they tell you right here, they get hundreds and thousands of likes and matches. So you got to stand out. And I can tell you this, being desperate is not how you stand out. How you stand out is being better than the rest. Not even top 10%. Because you got to realize most guys are below average and average by choice. They're addicted to weed, video games, and porn, and they're overweight. So if you can drop those 4 things, you're above average. If you don't smoke weed, if you don't drink, you don't gamble, you don't smoke, if you're not addicted to video games, porn, if you're not overweight, you're above average. I guarantee you that. You just don't know how to market yourself. Because if you can't get matches on a dating app, it's not going to happen in the real world either. That's the greatest litmus test, because you should be able to stand out no matter where you're at. 30 years old, not overweight, no tattoos. That's good. Pronouns, demisexual. I don't even know what that means. What is demisexual? She wants someone who is transparent, honest in communication. That's just sexy in a person. The key to her heart is humor. I'm telling you, they want you to be the personal entertainer. You got to be a comedian for her. But I'm going to assume she doesn't have kids, so she's not a single mom. Not overweight, no tattoos, long-term, I'll assume. I mean, this is an easy 6, 7 out of 10 for dating. The fact that she doesn't have tattoos, doesn't look like a dude, not some crazy liberal with hair and piercings, not overweight, no kids, somewhat in shape. She's a 7 out of 10 for dating. So that's definitely, you would have to compete with a lot of guys. All right. 29 years old, and you can just tell already by the hair, the nose piercing, the tattoos. I don't know. What do we think? What do we think? I'm a mother of two handsome boys. 29 years old, tatted up, colored hair, nose piercing, two sons. And you're still figuring it out is crazy at almost 30. Come on now. Come on now. Mm. Do they always have tattoos like this? Like, can you spot a single mom? Like, because I've gotten pretty good at it. What would you say my accuracy is? Like, give me a percentage out of 100. 75% accuracy. So I got to get that up to a 90 because
What a good boy.
yeah. And also too, like think about the dating psychology behind this. So she's 29, single mom, two kids, the tattoos, the hair, the piercings. How did she get to this point? Like, do you think these are good things that led her to this point? That's another thing too is like dating a single mom, like how did she get to this point? Because there might be some baggage, some trauma. I don't know if you want to deal with that because there's plenty of other options out there. And she's got her hair in a different color too. So she's got green, now she's got blue. Hmm. You wish the best, but you just never know. Right? And how are you going to be like, how are you going to have two sons and you're drinking and smoking? Come on. And this is why so many and it's not like I don't blame women just like I don't blame men for the problems of society. But when the biggest problems are single moms in raising kids because a lot of them still want to party, they still want to drink, they still want to smoke. They're extremely liberalized, they're feminists. So they grow up and these kids, especially the boys, they're raised weak, feminine, passive, gay, numb because they don't have masculine energy, a father around them. That's what happens. Think about that. All these single moms are raising all these kids to be just like them. It's crazy. Can you see if this still works? It's that pasta place where I got that pasta. I just want to see if that discount code still works. All right, 45 years old. Let's see. She's probably at a day club. 45. You're 45 years old and you still want short-term fun? Oh. So about her, she loves to travel, meet new people, but I'm also very happy at home with my dogs. Recently divorced and just looking to have some fun. Single moms out here in the wild, going crazy. This isn't girls gone wild. This is single moms gone wild. Come on. Let me look at the positives. So, no tattoos, no crazy hair, doesn't look like a liberal, not overweight. So, those are the good things. But if she's obsessed with traveling, single mom, like if you know for certain you don't want a long-term relationship, marriage, kids, still She even her at her age, I guarantee you she's getting thousands of likes. And if she's on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, that's 3,000 a week she's getting. So if you're like, oh man, like, why can't I attract a girl like this? Like, why don't I ever be chosen for short-term fun, for a casual hookup? If that's your thought processes, you got to really look at yourself, because are you better than thousands of other guys? You should be. Not in the sense of an egotistical way, but that's how the world works. The world works through competition. And again, all you have to do to take yourself out of that, like that bottom 40, 50% is don't be overweight. Don't be addicted to weed. Don't be addicted to video games. Don't be addicted to porn. That's it. You don't even have to be making 6 figures a year, 10,000 a month. If you can just stop those simple things, don't ever play video games, don't ever smoke weed, don't gamble, don't watch sports, don't be overweight, go to the gym every day. In 12 months, in 12 months, you're above average already. Because a girl like this that's in shape, she wants you to be in shape. You don't need to be a bodybuilder by any stretch, but at least have some muscles as a man. Abs. You don't need to be 4 or 5% body fat. Get to 8%. That's how she chooses you. Oh, so this is some Bumble actions. All right. So 26 years old, no tattoos, no crazy hair, not overweight. Good start. Not a single mom, Christian conservative, wants kids. Okay. Starting off good. All right. She's into the gym. That's good. Country, coffee, dancing. She's looking for marriage. Okay. Not really. I'm not really. This is might be too much. Girls walking around like that at the gym is just why? That piercing. Again, this is just how you gonna dress like this in public at the gym? And you're a Christian and a conservative with your ass out is crazy. Are you on my stream? No, you should be. All right, so let's look at the positives. All right. What? So 26, that's good. Active, good. Wants kids, good. Doesn't have kids. Christian, conservative, so that's a 6. Marriage, 7. Okay. So she's a 7 out of 10 when it comes to marriage. The problem is this. She's dressed like this at the gym. She's got this liberal piercing right here. Every single liberal chick has that nose piercing, so why does she have that? And again, dressed like this in public, she wants you to just submit to her.
What a good boy.
But still, 7 out of 10 when it comes to dating or a marriage. 7 out of 10, but definitely got to be like aware of, because you could ask her too. This is a great test too, to just be like, hey, you're a Christian, you're conservative. We go to the gym together. Are you going to still walk around where people can see your underwear because your clothes are so tight? Like even in the picture, I can see it with your ass out. You can see like your whole pelvis and hip structure. I mean, if she's receptive to that, she's like, yeah, I'll put something looser on, sweats, whatever, then that's good. If she doesn't and she's like, no, I'm going to dress how I want, she's not the one for you. And then you definitely have to question. All right. Wow. So you're gonna that's the what a transition, right? You're going from the holy girl to this? What? All right, let's go through it. 26 years old. Oh, what? Single mom, liberal, pronouns, Christian. Let me see if I can understand. What? This is a single mom, Christian. Yeah, this is a Christian single mom. Ooh, does this make sense? Like she tells you right here. What does that say? Christian. I can't. What?
Bruh.
This is the most interesting profile thus far. Okay. Let's go through this again. Let's start from the top because I got sidetracked. 26, tattooed like some dude in prison. We got that out of the way. Single mom, liberal, Christian pronouns. Does any of that sounds like it goes together? Single mom, liberal, Christian pronouns. Should any of those four be in the same sentence? No. And you're a single mom looking for
What a good boy.
something casual. And her tongue is out on purpose too. And she's out here. What is like? She's playing what music? I don't know. And on this too, like you're a Christian. How? How are your causes and communities feminism, transgender pride, nonsense, and like abortion? And you're a Christian? There's no way. So is this? Am I being too harsh, too critical? Am I judging? Am I judging?
But I think that
I mean, you saw that. Is that too much? Am I wrong for?
I think that she should be held accountable.
Yeah.
That she should know that those things don't all align.
Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're judging her." He who is without sin cast the first stone. That's what they always try to say. Anytime you're critical, judging, or calling out bad behavior. The problem is they forget the next part is continue and sin no more. That's what a lot of Christians forget. And even the non believers that use that as a way to justify their degenerate behavior, like, oh, Jesus wouldn't judge. Okay. You're right. But in the sense of you do not continue in sin. So if at this moment you stop the degeneracy, the sin, then yeah, there's no more judgment because you're not continuing that. But if you continue in that, that's a righteous judgment and you can be called upon to go higher. But I mean, this is crazy. You're a single mom out here dressed like this. Would you want your kids to see this?
Bruh.
No.
I don't think so.
All right. 30 years old. What is this? Nurse. Mom of two. Christian, because hey, why not? Why do Christians use pronouns? Pronouns were not even a thing before 2020. Pronouns, you're associated with liberalism, wokeism, DEI, all that nonsense is pronoun people stuff. So why are you a Christian doing that? And you're open to seeing where things go, but you want marriage at the same time. How are you going to be a 30-year-old single mom who's a nurse with tattoos, open to seeing where things go? No. Positives are she's not overweight. And you can always tell. So this is how you always spot a single mom. The sleeve tattoos. They always have that sleeve tattoo. She's competitive. So something else that's crazy too is on these dating apps, you can choose interests, right? Whether it's Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. There are interests on there that talk about spending time with family, being family oriented. Why do these single moms never put that? They never put being family oriented. It's always their own self-interest, being active, adventuring, hiking, traveling. Never being family oriented, but they have kids. Is that someone you would want to date? No, I think not. And typically the argument is single moms are nurses because of the empathy they have because they raise kids. So they have empathy towards their patients. That's the dating psychology behind it. All right, 42 years old. Let's see. So 42 years old, Vegas locals only. And she's a no-nonsense kind of girl. She believes in gender roles in a relationship, not into that feminism BS. Manly alpha man only. I live a healthy lifestyle and finding someone that values that is important. Happy hour fan. This would have been perfect 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And said you're 42. Now, like, do you think she believed this 20 years ago? Because if you truly had this ideology, you're this upfront about it, about gender roles, about feminism being BS, wanting a manly man, someone with values, and you don't have kids yet, but you want kids now. There's no way she had this mindset for the last 20 years. This is something that's very new and very recent. That's facts. There's no way you can go for 20 straight years with that mindset and not have what you want. Especially considering, too, she's not overweight, hasn't desecrated her body with tattoos. Well, there's one there, but it's not too bad. And what's crazy is that she wants you to be a manly man. Is she a lady of virtue and modesty? You got to ask yourself that. But being 42 and still wanting kids but don't have them, and this is the mindset is. And it's not even, I'm not even trying to be like mean, rude, or critical. It's just, this is what I'd be thinking. All right, you're 42. Clearly, you know exactly what you want. And this type of mindset is something that you should be able to achieve within a year. If you know exactly what you want, this should be found relatively quick. So is this a new mindset for you? Or did you just like get out of a relationship? Like I'd have a lot of questions. Did that code work?
Yeah, on my phone. I just have to use my number.
So I can call and order it, or does it have to be through like the website?
Like it popped up where I can show you if you want to see.
All right, let's do this next one. 27 years old, looking for a relationship, friends, and fun along the way. She likes to read, scrapbook, yummy food. Okay. And Christ is king. How old is she? 27. Sounds like really good. Sounds really good. Teacher. She loves working with children and in education. Okay. Doesn't smoke. Rarely drinks, so that's good. Wants kids. Okay. That's good. Not overweight. No crazy tattoos. No crazy hair. She's Christ centered. Okay. All good things. Yeah. So for a long term relationship, doesn't have kids, wants kids, Christian, no crazy tattoos, not overweight, looks like pretty wholesome, 7 out of 10. So 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. She did pretty good.
What stopped her from being higher?
So why is she not? Well, she could lose some weight. She does have one tattoo I can see. And she talks about fun along the way. I'm not sure what that means. And her being open to something short term could be problematic. So that's why she's not 10 out of 10. She's a 7 out of 10. So if she lost 10 pounds, was more active, didn't have a tattoo, and only wanted long-term relationships or marriage, then she'd be higher than a 7 out of 10. Can you, when you're done at your class, can you pick up pasta for me with that code? Take this note in your phone. It's gonna be the pasta alla familia with spaghetti.
Here, do you want?
So pasta alla familia with spaghetti, and it's gonna come with a salad, so you can choose what if you want ranch or Caesar, whatever, because I don't want it. And then a pasta alla vodka with spaghetti. So 2 pastas for me, and then whatever you want. A fettuccine alfredo. You need to you're getting something. Yeah, yeah. You need to.
It's too expensive.
That's why we have that code.
I'm saving money by not getting pasta alla vodka.
Yeah. And the pasta alla familia. Those 2, please.
I have pasta right here I can make
Please do what I asked.
for me.
Okay. Have fun at your class. All right, 32 years old, not overweight, no crazy tattoos, good smile. That's good. Good start. She doesn't want anything casual. That's good. She needs a man with depth, ambition, emotional maturity, and generally a good heart. Okay. So that's actually a good thing for a lot of you to see is you got to be a man of depth. You can't just be a guy with no personality, can't talk about things, can't carry a conversation. You should be able to teach her things. That's how you become her leader. You need depth. Read books. Watch videos. That's not brain rot. So 32 doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, wants kids, doesn't have kids, Christian, all good things. It's perfect. And this is a good start right here. Long-term relationship. That's kind of odd though. But this is why you need to pay attention because so her interests say wine, right? Wine, but she doesn't drink. So either she just it's an error or she's lying. And she's happiest when she's with family, friends, sharing quality time. That's good. Okay. Wholesome. Pretty wholesome. So no tattoos, not a single mom, wants kids, Christian, in shape, not overweight, good smile, taken care of. Assuming she doesn't really drink or smoke, 8 out of 10. So for that long-term relationship, Christian, wants kids, doesn't have kids, not overweight, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. This is really good. Kind of concerning the age, but still 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
What a good boy.
Okay, 43 years old now. The tattoos. I don't know. What do we got? Definitely a single mom. I'm calling that. 43 years old, realtor. Come on. 43 years old, tattoos like some dude in prison, a realtor. You can just tell by the bio, she's got some life experience, we'll say that. Cuz life is meant to be lived, not watched. You'll usually find her working out, or planning her next trip. Why are you planning your next trip? With spontaneous adventures. Like, never date a girl who's always planning her next trip and is spontaneous. That's the worst thing for a relationship. Okay, good things are she's active, right? Not overweight. Because you got to understand 65% of all women in America are overweight. So, but yeah, being a 43-year-old realtor, single mom, don't do it. Oh, come on. All right. 34-year-old attention seeker, tattoos like some rapper or some dude in prison. Single. Oh. All right. Single mom, open to seeing where things go. Something casual. 34, dressed like this in public. Does shame even exist anymore? Imagine you find out in 10 years this was your mom dressed in public for everybody to see. No, there is just how this is a single mother in public looking for casual relationships, tattooed up like a man. Having kids is crazy, and that's what you're looking for. Come on now. Let's see if it gets any better. So again, remember what I said about the interests, right? And if you don't believe me, go download Bumble, Tinder, Hinge. They all have the option to choose your interests, your hobbies. What do you like to do? You can be family oriented. You can do spending time with family, Single moms are never putting that. They're putting their own self-interest, right? Like going to the gym, boxing, traveling, cats. What? Why aren't you being family oriented? Th- So this is modern women right here in 2026. Like this is basically a dude. So my theory is this: guys that are attracted to girls like with in this much shape, with abs, the muscles, the tattoos, they're gay. Because how are you going to be attracted to such a masculine person, a masculine girl? The more masculine you are as a man, you should want a feminine girl. No tattoos, not some crazy abs. Like, come on. Again, being a single mom, looking for something casual. She's looking for a simp, some dude to sit in the chair in the corner, a cuckold, right? Because this is how she's out in public.
What a good boy.
It is shameful, man. Shameful. All right, 38 years old. She loves the Lord. That's good. Raised in the Midwest. She loves those old school values like loyalty, respecting one another. And she's also very spontaneous and loves adventures. So explain to me this. All right, explain to me how you have old school values, but you're 38 years old, spontaneous, loves adventuring, but you don't even have kids yet, and you're a Christian and a conservative? Nah. Does any of this make sense? Is any of this compatible? Like, really look at that. Christian conservative, old school values, don't have kids yet. I'll tell you why she's 38 with no kids, but is a Christian and conservative with old school values. Because right there, very spontaneous and loves adventures. Her interests are not being family oriented, it's exploring new cities. Nothing fixes her mood like a hike. What? Aren't you a Christian? Come on now. But she's ready for someone who's got good values, right? Come on. Hey, but at least she loves to cook and to clean. That's a good thing, right? Come on. That's good. And it could be so much better, right? Because she's not overweight, no tattoos, not a single mom. Those are all good things for her. She's active, doesn't smoke. Those are all good things. The problem is her lifestyle. Her lifestyle of being spontaneous, adventuring. That's why she's almost 40, doesn't have kids yet. Because anytime a girl says or puts they're not sure of having kids, deep down they want kids. They just know their lifestyle does not conform to that. Because if a girl doesn't want kids, she's going to tell you that, and she means that. So if they ever put not sure or they don't know, it's because their lifestyle is preventing them, or they haven't met the right guy. So just remember that. All right. 37 years old, entrepreneur at nutrition coach. I don't know. We'll see. So she's a business owner, a cat mom, hopeless romantic, looking for her person and she wants kids but doesn't have kids. Come on. Let's see. Why do you think she's 37? wants kids but doesn't have kids yet. Why do you think that is? Hmm. Do you think maybe it's because she's an entrepreneur, a business owner, a cat mom? Come on now. And again, not overweight, no tattoos, not a single mom. Is she training to be a cat lady? That's the stereotype, right? The old cat lady with no kids in her 40s, 50s. Mm. Is she going to be a cat mom forever? Is she going to be that single old cat lady? I hope not. Like I said, there's a lot of good things. She's active, no tattoos, not overweight, not a single mom. Man, she should have started this 10 years ago. She's ready for a serious relationship. Well, if you're younger than her and you want kids, you don't pursue this. That's the dating advice. Don't pursue a girl who is almost 40, hasn't had kids yet, but she still has wanted that. Look at her lifestyle. Look at her lifestyle because she definitely has had options over the years. Hopefully she can figure that out because being a business owner and a cat mom, hmm. All right. The fake lips are crazy. All that makeup, you can see that. All right, 34 years old. That is a lot. Anytime you see this much information so straightforward, what? All right, 34 years old, double bachelor's degree. Intelligent and witty. Right. Dog mom. Loves traveling. Why do you love traveling? You want kids. Come on. You want kids and you don't have kids. Maybe it's your lifestyle because you're 34 years old and you said this right here. Look, you're intelligent and witty. Well, how intelligent and witty are you that you can't see that your lifestyle is preventing you from what you want? You want a long-term relationship. You want kids. And your family. Look, I told you, look, you can be family oriented on here. We went through at least 7 or 8 profiles of single moms that all their interests are about themselves, traveling, hiking, exploring, eating, whatever, not being family oriented. And you got kids. And you can tell she's dated a lot. Like she's been around a lot. Not in like the hoe sexual way, but if a girl she knows like all this information up front of what she wants, she's probably dated dozens and dozens and dozens of guys. And the crazy thing is, she's 34, wants kids, doesn't have them, double bachelor's degree. Like anyone gives a fuck about that. You got to have humor, kindness, respect, consistency, honesty, being upfront, intentional, respectful, a gentleman. You got to have a lot going on right here. Come on. And it's good, she's not overweight, no tattoos, doesn't look crazy. She just looks delusional. And this tells you everything you need to know right here. What if I told you that she's not into drink or coffee dates? You do not take a girl out to something that she can't even appreciate a simple gesture like a coffee date. You're telling me you can't go on a coffee date? Come on. Come on. No way. And she wants someone who's going to lead her. All right. Well, that's the dating. That's the dating content right there. We finished it off with her. Remember that for tomorrow. So, yeah, the first hour, what we do is we look at these dating app profiles and I give you dating advice, relationship advice, dating tips to help you understand modern dating. To look at, should you date a single mom? And I'll give you the reasons why you should not. And I give you a reason why you should, just one reason. Look out for girls who travel, are adventurous, spontaneous. Look at their lifestyle, look at their behaviors. Is that compatible for a relationship? So we look at the pros, the cons, red flags, green flags, all that stuff. Because, man, there were some treats today. Like, we had Christian girls dressing like strippers. Is just... You got women in their 40s who want kids, don't have kids, and they're all about traveling and life experiences. Let's take a look at some dating content. Let's look at this. Oh, this dude is what?
All I gotta say is date them all, 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 baby.
What a good boy.
That's what these chicks are saying to this guy right here.
What a good boy.
Let these dudes call you a hoe because you talking to 3-4 dudes at once. I didn't say sleep with them all, I said date them all. Look, it's called having options. It's called may the best man win. It's called not putting all your eggs in one basket. Hello, don't let these dudes manipulate you. Date them all, baby. I'm telling you, it's about choosing the man that chooses you. Don't let these dudes manipulate you, telling you a hoe because, you're finding out what you like. No, if you want me, show me you want me. All I gotta say is date them all, date them.
That's true. Is he going to have the same advice for his daughter? Date them all, date them all, date them all. And look, all the girls. Look at all these girls. This dude is a woman panderer. This dude gets on his knees for girls because...
What a good boy.
Look, he knows what he's doing too. Come on now. Let's see what's going on in the modern dating world.
If a woman does any of these things, you should absolutely never take her seriously. If she ever flakes on you on a date, doesn't reschedule, and has no apparent reason as to why, or is not genuine, never take her seriously. If a woman loves attention from men,
Truth.
be it her IG pictures, be it the way she presents herself in person, never take her seriously. After the third date, if a woman never offers to pay, doesn't mean she has to, but she doesn't even offer, never take her seriously. If you've been seeing...
Nah, she should never pay. I don't care. Like, that's why if you're going to date with a girl, take her somewhere you want to go. So many guys make the mistake of, oh, hey, where do you want to go? Don't ask her. You tell her, hey, meet me here. It's either yes or a no, right? Go somewhere you want to go. That way, if the date doesn't go how you want it to go, or that's a one and done thing, at least you're going to go somewhere you want to eat, somewhere you want to go. But yeah, everything else too, like, check her social media out if you can, because that's going to tell you everything you need to know. If she's dressed like provocatively, you don't take her seriously at all. At all.
There's a gigantic problem that is extremely unique to the United States of America, okay? And the big problem is this. There are just too many fat women everywhere.
70% all women are overweight in America.
No, I mean, go into it. I didn't know if you wanted to go into it here, but that's why I didn't say nothing about that.
I'm going to dip my toes into it, but Myron.
Okay.
7 out of 10 women in the United States of America are obese or overweight.
That's true. Just look around. Look around.
That's
Very bad.
3 out of 10 left. And that 3 out of 10, about half of them are in a relationship. And so
Facts.
when you're going to a nightclub in the United States of America, you got to bring a harpoon with you because there's whales everywhere. There are fat women all over this country, 70% of the population. Okay. And when you talk about severe obesity, which is a BMI of 40 or above, that 11% of the women that are obese, they're severely obese. That's more than double the obesity rate.
So I'm going to add to that. So 70% of all women are overweight. Now you got 30% left, right? Half of that 30% are taken. So you have 15% left. Half of that 15%, single moms. You're stuck with less than 5% of women. 5%. Good luck. And this is another thing too is, as a man, don't take dating advice from a woman because their life, their experience, their upbringing, way different than ours.
A man of average attractiveness has to swipe right 200 times to get one coffee, and then 4 of those 5 coffees will ghost him. You can't tell women to lower their expectations, but this is the reality. When you ask a man if you could have a woman who had 80% of everything you wanted, 75% say, yeah, I'm on board. When you say to a woman, a man has 80% of what you want, 75% say that's not enough. But even look at the media.
Right.
What does the media tell a woman to do? He's out. But he didn't open your door? He's not nice to his parent? Walk right out on that man. Like it's literally, every piece of media is, you don't need him. You're a strong, independent woman. Pull the ripcord. You're out. The basic kind of communication around this is you are a strong, independent, powerful woman. That is wonderful. And quite frankly, you don't need the imperfect man. They're just not connecting. I read that on Tinder, a man of average attractiveness has to swipe right 200 times to get one coffee, and then 4 of those 5 coffees will ghost him. They will.
So the problem is, don't be average, because it's true. Whether it's online dating, a dating app in person, the numbers are the same. The math is the same. An average girl can date all guys, below average, average, above average. An average guy can date below average. He's lucky to find someone in the same range. So there's this big disparity. So instead of crying and saying, oh, well, me, it's all over, it's just done, there's hope. The hope is this. Your competition right now as a man, the other men you're competing with right now, they're sitting on their ass, smoking weed, playing video games, watching porn, being overweight. So instead of being part of the problem, fix yourself, improve yourself. Go to the gym every day. Yes, go every day. Lift weights, run every single day. Eat enough food. 2,700 calories a day. That alone right there takes you from being average to above average. Because now you're going to have confidence in yourself, and other women can see that confidence. They can feel it. Easiest thing to do is just take responsibility and accountability for yourself and stop crying and be like, oh, it's women, it's me. No, it's you. Women have their own problems for sure, but you can definitely take yourself from being below average to average, and then average to above average very easily.
50% of Gen Z last month spent $0 on dating.
It just could be that Gen Z is like broke as a joke right now, you know?
It could just be that they're just like, dude, I'm just trying to get by and get my.
No, Gen Z's they're playing video games and smoking weed. That's what they're doing. Let's look at some more dating content here. We'll do political stuff later because imagine being that last guy. I mean, the crazy thing is that she actually went to these countries and was with these guys. Yeah, why are women so proud of that? Because it's just. It's true. This is why women love traveling, solo traveling, risk free, fun. That's what they want. Crazy.
Okay, as a person who believes in being mean to men, I'm gonna tell you what my dynamic was like with my husband when he was trying to date me. So my husband and I were set up by mutual friends in college. He reaches out to me, he's very nice. I was like, okay, sure, we can get coffee. And then afterward, he essentially starts courting me. He would like call me all the time. He would bring me coffee. He would like ask me out to dinner. And then finally he was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't know.
Another thing too is if you can see her social media before you date her or while you're dating her, and she talks on TikTok or Instagram like this, you never date a girl that vents on social media.
You like that. Like we've only been talking for a few months. So then finally we like start dating and I agree to be his girlfriend. And he was like, when am I going to meet your family? And I was like, well, the gag is I am not going to introduce a white man to my immigrant father unless I know that we're going to get married. Because I was like, my dad did not come to this country with $5 in his pocket, give me an education, a vehicle, and everything I could have ever wanted. So some white man can just like swoop in and be like, I'm taking your daughter.
Even if this white man, this dude, was like, hey, yeah, I'll do this and take care of you. The fact that she's speaking like this, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. But these types of girls, they all want the same type of feminized, weak, pacified dude.
It was like, no, we have to formalize the situation before you like actually meet my parents. That's not to say that we had to get engaged, but like I think he met my family maybe like 2 or 3 years in. And at that point I was like, okay, well, it's a serious enough relationship now to where like you can meet my family. Anyway, along the way, I was also more mean to him in other ways, but those were just like the beginning stages of me being mean. And then as time went on, I sort of like kept upgrading my standards and I was like, I want this. And if you want to stay with me, you have to do X, Y, Z. And then he would just do it. And
yeah, he would just do it because
now we're married. So you have to be mean to men. Also, I've been mean to other men before, and what that has led to is getting free stuff. They just like would buy me things. I think one guy gave me like a record player, another guy gave me like a vinyl. However, I do come from a line of women who were mean to men. My mom, for example, when she met my dad asked for her number, and she was like, if you want it so much, you can find it. And then he like scoured, like, I don't know, phone books and like called neighbors and shit because they're from a tiny town in Mexico. And he found her number and he like called her after a week, you know what I mean? And then my grandma said that when my grandpa wanted to marry her, he was like, let's get married. And she was like, where are we gonna live? And he was like, I don't know, I'll like rent a house. And she's like, you're gonna rent a house? Like, I'm not gonna get married so that you can spend all of like your salary on rent and we're never gonna have a place of our own. So she's like, if you wanna get married, you have to like build me a house. And then like a year later, he like built her a house. I don't know. It comes in handy.
What a good boy.
Wow. Never date or be with a girl like this, because that is crazy. Crazy. Exactly. Yeah, simps are part of the problem. Women like this, they should not have any options, because that's fact. Loser men exist. That's true. The simps, the loser men, the weaklings, the cucks, the desperation, the loneliness.
What a good boy.
Oh.
Women can be evil to men and still be good people. Men cannot be evil to women and still be good people. I'm not elaborating. And that is my opinion. And my opinion is fact. So don't argue with me in the comments, it's true. A woman who is evil to a man could still be the most outstanding member of society. She's still volunteering, helping an old person cross the street,
What?
being kind to her friends, checking in. A man who is evil to women is evil to his fucking core, and there's nothing redeemable about him. Throw him out, throw him away, get rid of him, get rid of his ass. So, and that's all that.
So never take a girl seriously that has that piercing.
I can't be swayed. That is my opinion.
Yeah, I'm telling you, use your eyes. If you have eyes to see, avoid girls with this piercing right here. Avoid it. I'm telling you, every single time, avoid that piercing.
Women can be evil to
Yeah, exactly. If she's on social media, that's what the
because I like a man and he's just disgustingly, appallingly nice to me, and I want to punch him in the face. And is that wrong? You're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
TikTok is crazy feminist propaganda. Crazy. What in the
because for the first time I was in the locker room at the same time that a woman, I'd say around my type and my age, was in there, total breast exposed, shirt off. I took one glance, looked the other way, didn't even think about it after. I didn't sexualize her. I didn't sit there and stare. I just let it go out of my mind, came back in my car, and then really thought about how fucking disgusting men are.
What a good boy.
Yeah, completely left her mind. That's why she came to her car and made a video about it. Right.
I just really thought that guys were just like being crybabies and stuff until I moved back here and then started seeing it with my own eyes on the ground. And it is just, this is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. I don't know what's going to happen, but we are not heading to a good place. Because the last time the amount of sexlessness like this happened with a country was Weimar Germany, which led to, I just really thought.
See if we can find some dating stuff. Yeah, this one is just crazy.
Internet was down. We had a power outage the other day at my. I can't get off without watching porn.
You can't get off at all without watching porn?
Not even close. I wouldn't even try if my internet was down. We had a power outage the other day at my house, and it was just like, okay, well, I would be screwed without. I couldn't do it. I mean, I would figure out a way. I think I would manage, but if my toys aren't working and aren't plugged in, and if I don't have porn, I'm just not getting off. I've never been someone who can do it manually and with my imagination. It's really a problem because the porn I watch is like not good.
What kind?
What?
Joe. Joe.
Nikki.
Dude, it's bad.
Like
I mean, I got a threat on like a DM from just some fucking troll a while back that was like, if I put out a hit on the dark web for you to be gang raped,
What?
and paid the guys $100,000 to do it, I could make that happen, and someone would accept that. And I was like, joke's on you that's my fantasy. No, I mean, I don't really mean that. Please do not do that. But I was also like, no, I'm not joking. Like that tends to be the stuff that I watch is like really aggressive gangbangs and like women tied up. I pay for my porn because I feel so bad what's happening to the women in it. I hope that they are being compensated for it. So I pay like $30 a month for kink.com. I'm watching really fucked up stuff. And I've always been into like being tied up and like I'm someone who doesn't feel like I deserve pleasure.
Okay, there's just no way. There's no way. Exactly. So this is why a woman who has gone traveling a lot on her own is instant disqualification. That is just facts because, a woman will not kiss you on camera for the same reason she never posts pictures of you on her Instagram. Facts. I love seeing those guys in a relationship with a girl. They got pictures all over on their social media. The guy has pictures of them together, but you go to the girl's Instagram. Nope. I think I had something like that too. There was this. Yeah, I don't know. What's that girl's name? Was it Nala? Yeah, this chick. All right, so Nala, right? So this is her Instagram. Look at all of her posts. Okay, so her, more of her. And she knows what she's doing. All just her. There he is. Let's take a look at his profile. Why is she on his profile more than he's on hers? I mean, crazy. Mm. Let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at this. So, I really feel like having good qualities makes no difference in the world of dating. They always seem to choose someone else. All right, so he's a 31-year-old guy. My friends and family really don't understand it. They consistently tell me that it should be easy for me since I have desirable qualities that a partner would want. But none of that ever seems to translate to success with dating. Yeah, because your friends and family are always going to lie to you. It's not that hard. If you're in shape, not overweight, aren't addicted to weed, video games, and porn, it's cake. It's easy out there. The problem is most guys are overweight. They don't have confidence. They lack communication skills. What is this? You're always second place to someone. So how do you cope with the fact that as you get older, that there will be an ex that probably meant a lot more than you? I mean, by the time you're 25, 30, you'll already have experienced a handful of relationships, and most people just settle at some point. You should never settle. The problem is a lot of guys will get into a relationship and then they stop improving. They do all the work to get to that point in the relationship, then they stop. They become lazy, overweight. You got to always keep improving yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. That never stops. If you continue to improve and develop mentally, physically, spiritually, you don't have anything to worry about. The problem is most guys become lazy and complacent. That's why. Yeah, don't date people who settle for you, and don't settle for someone. It's that simple. You can't be in the scarcity mindset. You can't be lonely. Like, just continue to put in the work and the effort, and it will happen. I get around 50 matches a day, and my usual strategy within the first 2 messages, ask the girl out. Okay, I mean, you kind of got to feel it out. You can't just be like, hey, how are you? I'm good. Hey, let's go meet here. You got to put a little more effort in than that. I'm not saying you're talking for days, but never ask on the first time unless you can really feel that out. And I think Instagram is better. If you can get her Instagram, that's way better because then you can see how she is alone. Does she talk to the camera and vent to it like it's a therapist? You don't want to date a girl like that. Does she dress provocatively on the internet? You don't want that. Getting her Instagram before her number is way better. Way better. Because then you get to see girls that thirst trap, girls that are just trying to get attention and validation. You get to see their whole personality, their whole resume right there on Instagram or TikTok. Because that tells you everything you need to know. Hey, you don't want to check in bikini pics, OnlyFans, all that type of stuff. It's pretty obvious. Let's take a look at TikTok. Some TikTok dating.
Hi, friends. So why did they call you today? They said I was really handsome. They said I'm really good looking and handsome, and that they wanted to give me a certificate for being so handsome, the most handsome man in Romania. Ah, my friends from the press again. Okay. Hi, friends. So why did they call you today? They said
People.
Do you want to know one of the biggest red flags a woman can have? And it's out.
Chris, hi. Wow, you have the exact amount of hair that you have in your profile photo. You have no idea how refreshing that is. I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, before we order drinks, can I just like...
What's your name?
Danny.
See the light.
What?
I'm literally shaking because I just left the day where a guy was like, if you're not gonna go home with me, I'm not gonna pay for the check. And then he was calling me weird, he was calling me names, he was calling me ugly. And long story short, a waiter comes up to us and he's like, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but the gentleman from a table right there just covered your check. And I was like, wait, what? Long story short, the guy ended up asking me out. I guess we're going out. I don't know what's going on tonight. But it's crazy! I'm literally shaking because I just left the day where a guy was like, if you're not...
Never date a girl that vents on social media. Never date a girl that
gonna go
is
home
on
with me?
events on social media because that's just nope.
This
All right, let's do some political stuff. Some politics, some geopolitics going on in the world right here. All right, so House passed this bill banning congressional stock buys and requiring voter ID. We'll see about that. So I know it sounds like it's a good idea, right? So the Stop Insider Trading Act, prohibiting members of Congress, spouses, and dependent children from buying new stocks in publicly traded companies. Guess what? That doesn't matter because they're just going to go through a friend. They're just going to go through someone who's not a family member. They're still going to do stock buys and insider trading. That's the crazy thing is you should need to make it a federal crime if they profit off of the information they get being a politician, being on these committees, on these chairs, passing this legislation.
On this vote, the yeas are 232, the nays are 198. The bill is passed without objection.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They're just going to go through friends or a third party. Until you make it illegal across the board, politicians are still going to profit from the votes that they make and the position that they hold. It's just so obvious. Oh man, they passed all that type of stuff. So military pay raise, that's good. Nuclear deterrence, okay. Missile defense like the Golden Dome and $30 billion in spending. It's not true. So they want AI, cyber tools, and more. $750 million allocated, including $500 million for missile defense. They're really preparing to escalate in Iran, and then they want to target Iran, China, and then Russia. And what's crazy is the proponents right here, it says right here, proponents like AIPAC. So the American Israeli Political Action Committee or the Public Affairs Committee praise it. Okay. Why is AIPAC praising an American piece of legislation? Yeah, they're going to merge our technology and supply chains with Israel. What does that tell you? You can always tell who's bought and paid for. You got to ask yourself, why is AIPAC, why is the Israeli lobby celebrating us passing this piece of legislation? Why are they celebrating it? Why is a foreign government celebrating the American government passing this legislation? It doesn't matter what country it is, any foreign country, why would they be celebrating this? Ask yourself that. Because under no circumstances should a foreign government be celebrating legislation that our government is passing.
Defense Authorization Act. And it's one of the few bills that passes every year. I've been here 14 years. There have been 14 NDAAs. So you can set your clock on the fact that this bill will pass. So anything that gets in it is, dangerous as a cocked gun. It's going to become law. Well, this bill is hundreds of pages long. And, in one of those hundreds of pages, it's actually 5 pages long, is Section 219.
and it was Section 224, but it's now Section 219. And it calls for the integration of our military technology and the supply chains that produce our high-tech military equipment to be integrated with Israel's. Now, we don't have this kind of bilateral agreement with any other country in the world, and I would argue that we shouldn't, in order to protect our sovereignty and to protect our national secrets. If you wanted to share one thing at a time, let's say, we wanted to collaborate on missile defense systems, I think that's fine. The president can do that, just by virtue of controlling the military. But what they're doing here is legislatively, they are appointing a person. I joke that this person will eventually be a cabinet member, but right now it's a lower level position, who will be in charge of the integration. And that means that this project will have a lifespan that outlasts the commander-in-chief. Regardless of who the next president is, this provision lasts forever. And it's in the National Defense Authorization Act.
That's
it's
crazy.
Coming to a vote. A lot of people have, saw this. I saw this back in June and offered an amendment. By the way, there are 1,400 amendments that have been offered to the National Defense Authorization Act here in the House. My amendment was amendment number 2. I was the second person to offer an amendment to the NDAA, and that's because I saw this troubling provision in there. Now, what they've decided to do is they've decided to block my amendment. So there will be no vote and no debate on Section 219 and whether it should be in the NDAA or whether it should not be in the NDAA.
Interesting times, huh? So it tells you right here that at its core is Section 219, which sets up coordination on sharing Israeli tech in areas like counter drones, missile defense, AI, cyber, and biotech through joint R&D, research and development, and co-production. So critics say it's a sovereignty risk and merger of supply chains, but an amendment to remove it was blocked, of course. The $1.15 trillion bill also bans taxpayer-funded gender transitions for service members amid GOP internal splits. I mean, that's obvious, but the issue is we move closer to a surveillance state every single day. China's the end goal, but that's decades away. The problem now is it's going to be surveillance. We're going to be using AI and cyber tech from Israel that they use in Palestine, that they use on the border, that they use the facial recognition. And people say, oh, it's going to keep us safe. Really? Do we like that type of surveillance? Are we truly safer? Because just because there's cameras everywhere, it doesn't prevent anything. All it is to backtrack and look back on incidents or crimes that happen. And they get a lot of things wrong. The flock cameras get things wrong. People abuse it. Because that's the problem is it's still being ran by a human being and all the faults in human nature. And people are going to exploit it and use it in a bad way. The 6-month conflict began in February 2026 after the U.S. and Israeli strikes killed Iran's supreme leader and hit nuclear sites. Wow. Iran vowed an eye for an eye response. They can't do that. While U.S. forces keep the Strait open for shipping, critics question the escalation amid spiking global prices. Right. What I don't understand is I thought we had controlled the strait. I thought we had the naval blockade that actually allowed for us to get That's why you can never trust what's really happening, what you believe on the news, what the president says, what the administration says, because one week it's all good. The next week there's bombs dropped. One week there's a deal. The next week there's bombs dropped. Because it's all speculation. These people manipulate stocks, they manipulate money, they manipulate the economy. It's because it's all based off of speculation, words. Oh, there's a deal being made. Okay. Now they can make more money in stocks. They can invest things. Bombs are dropped, stocks drop. They buy stocks, they speculate and say, oh, hey, we're going to forecast this is going to happen. These positive things are going to happen. That's how they make more money. They're making money through crypto, stocks, poly market, any type of speculation. Because it's all artificially inflated, anyways. They manipulate it. So we gotta look at Fox News, because Fox News, how do they spin this?
Terrorists from Yemen say they have targeted Saudi oil tankers that violated their naval blockade. Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan is in Tel Aviv tonight with the latest on that. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, Brett. This war is certainly changing by the hour, and this is a most significant development, also confirmed by maritime security experts, that the Houthis have targeted and hit at least one tanker, perhaps two, that were carrying Saudi oil in the Red Sea. This basically broadens the war. It creates a second front and really puts the risk of chaos in the world oil market at a much higher level. It happened just a short time ago. The Houthis had threatened to target and blockade Saudi oil. Even that threat alone was enough to make several tankers turn around, make U-turns, head north out of a longer and more expensive route out of the Suez Canal. Now that they have struck and disabled at least one tanker.
The issue is every single war escalates through a sacrifice of that country's civilians or military members. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, 9/11. Every single war America enters into, or there's an escalation from America, comes from our own civilians or military members dying, and our government uses them as a scapegoat or a sacrificial lamb so they can continue the military industrial complex, and they can escalate war. Because they don't ever want to win wars. They learned that in Vietnam, and they've continued that since Vietnam. America doesn't want to win wars. They want to prolong them as long as they can because it's all money.
Possibly two. That's really going to change things. Saudi Arabia had been trying to move millions of barrels of oil out of the Red Sea, trying to flee from the chaos in the Strait of Hormuz. Now that route, at least in the short term, may be closed. If you think about it, 10% of the world's oil threatened out of the Strait of Hormuz, another 7% possibly.
I thought it was 20%.
Can hold up in the Red Sea, so certainly a big development there. And more tough talk as well from Iran's political elite. On one hand, you have the speaker coming out and saying, posting all or none, basically saying, if Iran is not allowed to sell its oil, no country, no neighboring country in the region will be permitted to sell any oil at all. The foreign minister also taking a page from the Old Testament, saying basically an eye for an eye. That's Iran's policy, responding to President Trump's threat on infrastructure in Iran, striking civilian infrastructure.
Heard that before.
Each time Iran targets a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, he's saying it'll be an eye for an eye, striking back against America in kind, not just America, but also any country as well that contributes to America's efforts. And finally, one more worrisome note, United Kingdom now saying it's pulling all of its diplomats out of Iran immediately. They'll operate their embassy remotely. Brett, back to you.
Just getting word, Steve, of the
The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. This is the greatest we'll ever be. And together, with your help and the patriots all across this magnificent land, we love our country. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again.
How does anybody think this is true? How do you think this is real? Yeah. Wealthy for the top 4%. Strong again? Okay. Because, yeah, war is so good. So I'm not even going to use Google, ChatGPT. I'm going to use Grok, the most right-leaning AI we have here. So let's look at the numbers here. So since Trump. Because it's pretty obvious. If you live in reality, if you're living in this reality, you know that everything he just said is just not true. The top 20% of everyone in the stock market owns 80% of all that wealth. So yeah, if you're in the top 20%, yeah, you're living good. You're living fat on the goose. If you're like the 250 million Americans that are struggling because your pay isn't increasing, gas is still high, energy's high, housing, rent, groceries. He's doing good. He's made billions of dollars. So he's right on what he's saying for himself and his people. So look, it tells you right there. We're paying almost $1 more. $1 more since Trump came into office. Food is up almost 3% since he became in office. So we're paying $1 more a gallon of gas. We're paying 3% more for our food. Energy is up 16%. While adjusted for inflation, average hourly earnings are 0.01% up. What does that tell you? Rent, housing up 0.8%. So, how much We're all paying at least $300 to $500 more a month. What I think they should do is they need to pass legislation to where, based off of inflation, energy, gas, food, rent, if all this stuff keeps going up and up, our pay across the board should reflect that. So we should be getting 5-10% more each month in pay. That will never happen though, right? Yeah, so we're paying $300 more a month since he came into office. Is that winning? Is that winning? Oh, yes, the Save America Act, because that's really going to save America, right? So even if he did end Medicaid for illegal immigrants, redirected $50 billion towards what? Where's that money for us? Because this is the sad reality, right? He ran on mass deportations, not happening, never going to happen. Because if you deport more than 5 million illegals from America, the economy collapses. Okay, because they rely on the slave labor for agriculture, right? So for your food, all your groceries, they rely on slave labor for the hotel industry that he's a part of. That's why he kind of cut back on the housekeepers being deported, the landscapers, the mowers, all of that type of stuff. The servers, construction sites using slave labor. You drive around any city, you still see there's people are illegal everywhere doing the exact same thing. So mass deportations was never going to happen. He ran on that. He wanted to cut back and stop DEI. If you've gone to a movie in the last 9 months, almost every single movie is DEI like it was under Biden. That hasn't changed. Gas through the roof. We have a new war. He said we weren't going to happen. Epstein list, completely redacted. No one's being held accountable for that. So explain to me where this winning is happening. I'm not making any more money. I'm waiting for that day when I'm a multimillionaire. I'm waiting for that day. Couple more years, $14 million. Couple more years, $14 million. Because if you don't take care of yourself, no one is coming to save you. Man, this guy just really just, man, he should send his kids over there to Iran. Arm the Iranian people. He just wants to overthrow a government and destabilize the Middle East even more. How about this, Levin? Go send your kids over to Iran. Let them enlist. No, not as officers, not as people sitting in the back tent miles away from any combat. No, they're in the front line. The crazy thing about Mamdani and saying that, oh, I'm going to arrest Netanyahu. No, you're not. Mamdani is a politician. He's saving face. He knows Netanyahu's coming to New York, so he has to show his base, throw some meat at them, saying, "Oh yeah, I'll arrest that war criminal, the genocidal maniac Netanyahu." Mamdani's not arresting nobody, because then he'd be out of there. I need to wake up and see the world and America for what it is.